Hey you guys, Nathan Collins back with another video today, once again on photo editing. And what we are talking about today is simply my process of putting photos onto my computer and then editing them through. So we're going to see the entire process today. So I have my SD card in hand and I'm going to plug this thing right in, and we're going to use this in PhotoScape X so you can see my entire process. So I'm going to be clicking into here, and we're just going to be doing the photos today. We're not going to touch the videos or anything like that, though I do have a fair amount of them. So we are going to right click on here, hit cut, and then I'm going to, in this case, I'm just going to make a new folder on the desktop just so it's not anything too weird. And we're just going to put in workflow. All right, and some of these photos are going to be totally random. Some of them are going to be, pretty cool, hopefully, but just photos that I've taken over the past couple of days. Obviously, working as a caregiver, I stay pretty busy, and it's usually something that I have to make a point to go out and take photos, or I have to make a point to sit down and record a video. So we have that put in, got it in the workflow folder. Gonna open up PhotoScape X, got this put on the viewer. We're gonna go over here. This was a recent video I just did on Lightroom Classic, just the beginner of here, and I thought it turned out pretty well. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on that if you enjoyed it as well. So we are over here and we're going to click on workflow, and then we're going to see the thumbnails of these different images. So let's see what I have. I have a couple pictures of pizza for whatever reason, and then a few pictures of my wife, her wearing a knitted hat that her mom made. She has an Etsy store. Alaska Knit Gifts is the name of that store, so definitely check it out if you want to. And then a few pictures of her in her CNA, scrubs. So let's go and just see what we want to see in here. So we're going to open these up in the viewer. I'm going to click over here to rotate. Rotate is not supported in this format. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'm able to rotate these. That's unfortunate, because if it's not in the correct orientation for you, for whatever reason, then you're going to end up with some trouble, because I'm like, okay, is this blurry? It's a lot easier if it's just a straight up and down photo. Not super clear, so unfortunate. This one, I have no idea what was happening here, but I was totally turned. It's nice and in focus though, This one, also blurry. So when I come across one that's going to be one that is blurry, like this one we looked at and said, it's okay. So we'll do a star rating. So I give this a star rating of 3. Oh, can I not do a star rating on a raw image? Oh, but I can flag it. Okay, so I flagged it. That's nice. This one I'm going to reject. This one I'm going to reject because it's blurry. This one over here, I actually really like this one. It looks like it's nice, sharp, and in focus. This one, same thing. Nice, sharp, and in focus. This photo right here, she's looking off to the distance. Zooming in. Looks pretty sharp. Looks pretty good. All right, so we're going to keep that one. Next one also looks pretty sharp and focused, looking off to the distance with confidence. All right, so we have this photo here. Once again, if it was rotated, it would be helpful. But like I said, not able to be rotated, unsupported format. Unfortunate. I am going to guess that Lightroom would not have this issue. But yeah. Photo's nice and in focus and everything like that. So we have that one. We like that one. And flip through this one as well. This one, I like it, or I think I liked it when I was looking at it in the camera. This one, sure. This one, nah. This one, nope. This one, blurry. This one, blurry. And now we're back to the beginning. So then we can hit X and we can go out of the viewer, so we can see these different photos, and I can go over here and just say, oh yes, all the ones that were flagged, we're going to keep those. So now we're going to go through and edit all 10 of these, and we can throw them away if we don't like them, but let's edit the first one. I'm going to go over here, click edit, and the first thing we're going to do is rotate. So we're going to hit rotate 90 degrees, and we have it rotated. Very nice. So we have some fall leaves here and all this nice stuff. Unfortunately, you have some issues with it because you have this pumpkin thing that's up here, which is flipped upside down. Now, it doesn't look too bad because I could just remove that, you know. So let me first fix a few things with this image, and I suppose I should also look to see what I think of her face in here. She's kind of like in the middle of saying something, you know. Is it worth editing this photo? No, not really. Let's go back. We don't want to edit this photo, actually. Like, it looks fine, but let's not. So we're going to go over to here, and we're going to actually change it to reject. So then it's out of our list. Click into this one. All right, here's what we were waiting for. This is the smile we were wanting. So we do the rotation again. We're looking at it. Has a nice smile, stepping on the leaves. Looks pretty good. So now in this case, I'm going to go through the editing process here. I don't necessarily want to edit all of them individually. Looks pretty nice. What do I want to do with it? Well, let's begin with a crop. So I personally am going to want to crop this. Do a 4:6 portrait. Gonna crop it like that. I really like having the grass off to the side of it. It kind of gives some more depth. So I'm gonna make it a bit wider than I would normally. How wide am I gonna have to make it then? 3:4. Sure, we'll make it a 3:4 image then. Just because I want to keep the grass in it and stuff. You know, I think that looks pretty nice. So we got that. Looks pretty cool. Now, one thing that I'm going to do here for you guys is I'm going to show you how to remove a few distractions. So I'm going to click into here and say, okay, I want to do some clone stamp removal. Or I could do heal tool. Well, clone stamp will be helpful. This is why, you know, someone goes out and buys PhotoScape X Pro. They go and they click something like this. And I clicked on a line. So I clicked on a line. I'm going to go down here. Going to click kind of right in here. And sure enough, if I am not mistaken, I should be able to remove it without having too much as far as overlap or issues or things like that. It did okay. It wasn't perfect. You know, I'd have to, you know, really mess around with it a lot to like really get to exactly where I'd want it to be. But for the most part, I think it did pretty well. Take that up there, go down like that. And there you go. Next, I'm going to grab that. Got to put it over here. No, I want to remove that last little dot. Okay. And at some point, you just go back to the good old trusty heal tool. Click on that. And it removed it. Gonna click over here to this thing, remove that. Next, I'm going to remove this, the numbering up here. Whoopsie, I think I grabbed too much of it. Oh, it actually still worked out okay. So it ends up making it, whoa, whoops. I ended up with a big splotch left over. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so that ends up being a lot simpler. It looks really nice. Still has some headroom there. Looks really sharp. Looks pretty cool. I think that is where it should be. I'm going to leave that right there. So I have that edit. Looks pretty nice. What I can do is go into Save Project, and I can just do this. I could just put in Quick Edit. So I went in, gave it that quick edit real quick. When I go back to that project file, I'll be able to continue to move and adjust things as I would like. But it's going to be recorded. I'd actually love to know what is the size of the file when it's all said and done. So workflow, over here to the quick edit. What is the size of the file? It's 113 megabytes, just because you have to save the edits and things like that. But it lets me go back to my viewer and we can work on the next project. Next one, we have this one here. We zoom in right here on my wife's face. Looks nice, looks nicely in focused, looks good. So I don't see any reason why I wouldn't want to use this image. So I'm gonna hop right in here to the editor, and I'd remove this stuff, I'd remove that, as I said. Just remember that, in the future, you can always take down those things. If you can control your environment, you can do that. One thing that I would say is, like, yeah, you could obviously take a lint roller to this stuff here, but one thing that you could do is, let's see, there's some smoothing tools you could use, stuff like that. You could do spot healing. Remove a stain. Remove stain. Would that possibly help with that? No, not really. I'm trying to think of what would be the best way to remove lint. It would be like selecting the specific color, but you don't want to affect the other stuff. I suppose if you are super particular about it, what you'd have to do is you'd have to either clone stamp, or you'd have to go in and remove it piece by piece using the spot healing brush or clone stamp. So you can do it, but it would take time. But for this one, I think this is a nice one that I would like kind of do as a square, something like that. I think it looks just really sharp, in my personal opinion. Of course, I think my wife looks pretty sharp. It's also neat because the graphic on her jacket actually looks really, really cool, just like that, because it is just those 3 peaks of the mountains. I think that's really cool. I think we should just center this, in my personal opinion. Looks pretty nice. That looks really cool. I like that. So yeah, we'll just save that one out. Cool. I think that's neat. Heading back to the viewer real quick, we got this one over here. Kind of the same thing as well. All that I would do with this image, like, honestly, I'd remove the numbers if I don't want the numbers. Other than that, it just moves into the color grading effect. So let me show you guys color grading, because it is an art. It is something where it's very subjective to your personal tastes or opinions or things. But let me show you what I would do with this specific image. So it all looks nice. I like it. If you go to Magic Color, what are they going to say it needs to be changed with it? They're basically just going to boost the colors. And yeah, they make the purple look nice. They make the bricks look a bit nicer, all that stuff. But you can go into colors yourself. Say, okay, do I want to brighten this up? Do I want to darken it? Deepen. Okay, maybe not deepen. Vibrance. Maybe I want to boost the clarity on here a ton. Okay, maybe the darken's a bit too dark here. Maybe I don't want to necessarily brighten it up too much. You can hit that HDR button, which can do, a lot for an image, whether you like it or not. But, it's making the image come more alive, more vibrant, more punch, all that stuff. And at that point, you're like, wow, you got a really, clear, sharp, very detailed image. And then it just comes down to, what do you personally feel is going to be a good option for you? As far as how you want it to be, what do you want the finished product to be? I really like how the bricks just can't come alive and the blur is really nice on it. This is where you thank yourself for buying a camera that has a 2.8 or 2.0 aperture lens. So, getting that blur in there, I think it's really nice. So yeah, it kind of just depends on how you want to use it, things like that. But it also depends on what is the use case for it. I'm just really happy that with this raw image, you get a lot of clarity, a lot of information. So you're able to make those different changes and adjustments. And of course, yeah, you have the different film looks and things like that. And you're saying, okay, what could you make it look like? So one thing that I would say, my wife, she very recently made a blog, which you guys can definitely go and check out if you would like to. But it's Bree Collins 2019. 2019 is the year that we got married. So this is her blog. She hasn't really posted anything on it yet, but she has her life. She has a picture of Alaska. It's actually not center. It's not actually straightened. Interesting. But if I was going to add something to this, where it's like, here's a picture of her, you know, maybe that is something where I'd go with more of a moody type look, or maybe something like that. But in my personal opinion, it all just depends on what you're using it for, how contrasty you want it to be. But, you know, in my opinion, it's a great image. Use it for a lot of things. Solid. Check this stuff out. All right, so we got this one here. Hop into the editor. How would I do this? Well, first of all, I get the rotation right. Man, my wife is pretty cute. Okay, enough of that. So we've got this. Let's go 4x3. I kind of like just put it right in here. Oh yeah, no. Let's back this up. Here's how you edit an image like this. First of all, we don't want to, goes back to the whole question of like, what do you cut out? What do you leave in type stuff? Let's go with something like this. So we have the keys. We've got her. I might crop this once again. Oh, it's actually might be better from a further out standpoint. Interesting. 16:9, straight up and down. Or you could just do 1-to-1 square. Still not terrible either. I don't know. It's a nice photo. It just depends on how you wanna crop it. I like how her scrubs go out in almost like a dress type lining. As far as the lines for that. I know the pocket isn't like super easy to see. I like that. What I would do in a case like this, I would go with spot healing and I would remove all the brick going around this outside because it's just unnecessary detail and information. Should be able to cut that out without a problem. Okay, it had problems. So I'll have to mess with that. But yeah, no. I think it's really cool. It's a real nice setup. I think if you fix the edges, however you would do that, but I think it's really solid. Really solid photo. I like that one. What else do we have? This one here. Once again, you have to hop into the editor for whatever reason. Going here to the rotation. Looks pretty nice. Showcases my key. Our key, that is. It's interesting with that. I'd have to do a rotation type thing. Hold on. We'll back it up from the crop and we'll straighten the image. Can I still keep the key in here? Nice. No, I think it's really cool. I like her smile. Where her hands are positioned and things, hit or miss, you know, type stuff. Not bad. Over here, nice side photo. Close-ups are always fun. Let's get the rotation here. Oh yeah, all the way. I would almost like just say, hey, just keep that 1-to-1. Just a nice, fun photo. Really cool. That's how I'd crop that one. Last one here. Let's get a turn, a rotation on that. Yeah, her face is kind of smudged out with the blur. Yeah, you can't really pull it back in too much. Nope, kind of misfocused. So, That's one where I would just reject that one. I think it's pretty cool. I think the real winners are like this one here. These two are good. This one's great. I think it's that stuff. So, in my personal opinion, we'll see how it goes. So we have this one here. Yeah, I like that one. This one's good. This one's good. All right, forget this. Reject that one. This one's good. This one's tough. This one's just, it's a little bit too hard to, really make it work. So we'll just reject that one. That one's a nice one. Cool. All right. Now, to finish the editing of these images to the place where I'm exporting them and I'm using them for different stuff, let's begin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop this using a 3x4 crop. I'm going to keep these plants in here, maybe 4x3 if that ends up being wide enough. Okay. I want to keep those because I think that's going to stay nicely. Ooh. Close, close, close. I love it. Absolutely love it. I think it looks great. No, I think it's cool. I think it's totally good. Then I'm going to go in here, clone stamp. Punch in up here. Then just start removing this stuff here. All right. Remove that, remove that, remove that, go over here, go over here, clone stamp, not clone stamp in this case. Go over here, spot healing brush. Okay. There we go. So that ends up getting removed. I'm looking at how much is left in this image. Small. Remove that. Good. That is completed there. Alright, then after I have removed the unnecessary parts from the image, what I want to do is I want to give it the feel or the look that I'm wanting. So in this case, playing around brightening, darkening the image, deepening the image, comparing it to the original, going back. Cool. I like that. I'm just doing some minimal stuff. And then I'm going to find just a filter that I like about it. There's none that I'm really drawn to or anything. HDR in this case, actually, because of what it does to the bricks, I actually really like it. I like it. Any lights that I might want to add to this image? Nah, not really. Textures, overlays. No, nothing like that. I don't need any light flares or anything. Nothing crazy there. Don't need any borders, nothing like that. I think honestly it just is a pretty solid image. It doesn't need too much more edited or changed with it. I think it's a great image. Let me double check the straightness of this. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. If it was exactly straight. Cool. Yeah, I think that really helps it. It's not anything like super crazy different. Nothing like really insane. Like you can remove the cracks in the ground if you wanted to, but honestly, great image. I think I'm done. I think it's perfect. So we're just going to, in here, new folder, and we're just going to put workflow done. Save that. Looks pretty sharp. Nice. Next photo. Go over here, hit edit. All right. So same thing yet again. I'm just going to remove this. Unnecessary to have this in here. All right, cool. Next down here. Hop over here, spot healing, increase size. Gonna click right here. Whoopsie. Uh-oh. Did I say spot healing? I meant to say clone stamp. Clicking here, going down here. Adding that in. Removing that unnecessary stuff. Nice. I picked a part of the image that was kind of a bit farther away. So the color difference is kind of pretty severe. So I'm going to go back over it one more time. Hopefully change that extra. Going back here to the spot heal tool. Zooming in, just going in and cutting all that stuff up. Uh-oh, I made more trouble than what I had to begin with. Come on. Oh no. What am I doing? This looks awful. Okay. Well, that took way too much work. Zooming out, it's okay. It looks fine. No one's gonna really notice. I should be okay with it. If I was gonna take forever on it, I might go back and fix it. But in this case, I don't care too badly about it. Removing that. That looks fine. I'm gonna zoom in here because that little thing is a little annoying. I don't know if it's gonna do it nicely for me. Not really. It did that PhotoScape X kind of way of spot healing. Sometimes it's just not as good as what it should be. Let's see. Click over here. I'm just going to paste this over. Okay. Nice. So I'm totally fine with that. Like, it's not too much. Not too much, not too bad. I like it. As far as the image itself, we're going to leave it untouched just because I can then crop it down later, because I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to want to use it for, because it could be a thumbnail, it could be different things. I want to leave it where it's at. So in this case, you brighten it up, darken it, nah, deepen it. That looks pretty neat. The vibrancy depends on what I want her face to end up looking like. In here, do I want to just tap that HDR button again? I don't know. I'm kind of liking the look of that HDR stuff. I like it. I just don't want her face to end up being changed too much. I think it looks pretty cool. So we've got that. Image number 2. I did save that, correct? Did I? Maybe not yet. Go over here, clicking into here, and we've got this one, and that one is done. All right, so we have 2 of them now completed. Hopping over here to number 3. This is going to be extremely similar as well. So hopping in, going into the tools, spot healing, going in and removing those guys. Still ended up with some issues. One thing that you could do if you think that you're going to end up with a bunch of issues, you could actually go over here to the draw tool, Click here, get the color. Kind of just draw them out. Yeah, you lose some different textures and stuff, but you know, honestly, does it really look that much different? Not really. So you got that. It looks pretty nice. You could crop this differently. I don't think we're gonna crop it. I think we're gonna hit the HDR button, see what it looks like. Looks pretty nice. Kind of just like the color of it, you know. Looks good. Save that one. Hop in there, got those 3 saved. Back to the viewer. What do we have next? This photo here. Hopping into the editor. Going to rotate. Looks pretty nice. 16:9 crop. Might do a bit of a straighten type thing. Nice. I actually really like, because yeah, it does straighten the image out a whole lot. Her hair kind of going nuts. It kind of makes it so I kind of need to back out before the crop, like straighten before the crop. Probably a rule I should just stick to. All right, straighten the image with the different. All right, like that. Next, we'll just go up with that. Down a little bit. Crop that. Looks pretty nice, honestly. Cool. Going to color. Will HDR be our magic button yet again? Kind of makes the red overpowered. Like, let's take this HDR stuff and just tone it down just a bit. How about just not do that HDR stuff? Let me think. Protect skin tones. Okay, sure. What we're gonna do is we're actually gonna change it to a mask. With the mask, we're going to say that we want to fill everything in the image. Then we're going to subtract the shirt. Okay, right? Subtract. Oh wait, I know. So it actually counts as an add. I'm confused. Why is it acting silly for me? Oh, here we go. Now I'm subtracting it. I'm just subtracting her shirt just because I think that gets affected too much by the HDR. So I'm going to compare to the before, what it is now. It makes her skin tones look more standout like. But it also still saves, you know, her clothes a bit more. I'm actually going to do that also with the rest of her scrubs. I think it just takes away too much of the detail of the scrubs for whatever reason. Yeah. I'm going to add back a little bit into here. Whoa, careful. Add a bit more back into here. I really like it. I like the change. I like the shift. I like what it does. Yeah, I really like that. Hitting apply right there. Going over here to tools. Going to clone stamp because I want to delete this. This was like an old, maybe a light poster or something. All right. Spot healing. Here we go. Gonna just remove that real quick. Looks pretty good. Remove that. Looks nice. Yeah. So you had before, after. No. I want to see like. Nah, I just think it looks better with the face. I like that. All right, going into the workflow. Got that one completed. And then last but not least, we have this image right here. This one, great image in my personal opinion. All right, so we got it flipped. It looks nice. Just like where you'd put text on the side. Like this would be like a word bubble. thing for like a quote or something. Ooh, almost. Ooh, not yet. All right, I like that. I like that shift. Go over here to color. Yep, and once again, I think it takes too much out in the shirt for whatever reason. So I'm going to, once again, oopsie, fill the entire screen, and then I'm going to subtract the shirt out of it. Let me know if you guys do this in your edits, if it ends up doing too much. I'm kind of surprised, you know, the skin doesn't look like it's changed very much. Maybe it's because it's protected or something. Yeah, I really like it. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm gonna get that like red color back in the bricks a bit more. I don't know. Nonetheless, I'm gonna kind of just leave it at that right there. I like the edit. I like how it went. So we got that. Hit save. Sure enough, we're just gonna close out of, well, we don't have to close out of, we can go to the viewer. Go into workflow done, and now I can look at all 5 of these images. You have this first one, kind of had this like colorish, kind of an interesting look to it. Looks really nice though, in my personal opinion. It really focuses more on the color scheme of her with more of the purple feel. The second one, I like it a lot. You know, you can take some of this fuzz off, but for the most part, I think it's a real nice, just clean image. Second one, same thing. Very similar from one photo to another, which is kind of what you're wanting. Like this photo compared to like this first photo, yeah, it's different. Her skin tone's much more, you know, on the more pinkish side, where this one it goes for a much more wider tone. So that's fine. This one, just a fun photo. I like that one. Very cool. This photo here, once again, looking really good. And yeah, I think it's nice. I think having, you know, looked at, you know, the beginning, you know, when we had a bunch of different photos at the start, looking through those different photos, you're like, oh man, some of these like totally look terrible, all this different stuff. But I think at the end, I think the result is really, really cool. One thing that I will say for anyone who is still like going through and making edits and stuff, let's say there's a finished photo that you have. One thing that I would definitely encourage you guys to do with your finished photos is just to flip them, you know, from time to time. See if it looks good rotated, because sometimes it can look pretty neat rotated in a different direction. And if you can, you know, identify, oh, that looks cool the other direction as well, you know, maybe you can use it differently. If you were going to say, oh man, if this is a text, if I'm going to put text on this side of it or something like that, maybe by flipping it, you can still have that text on that side. Now, in this case, you have some numbers up here, so you'd have to remove them, or else when they get flipped, they're going to look kind of weird. But nonetheless, you guys, I hope this was helpful just to kind of take a look at my workflow when I'm working in PhotoScape X. You know, I pull some photos in, they're raw. I go through, I just do some quick light editing, tweaking, removing a few things, but nothing super, super crazy. You know, depending on what I end up using these photos for, that's when you end up going in and editing them a lot. In this case, when I am, you know, just flicking through these different photos, the reason why I took these is because my wife's starting this blog and she wants to be able to really get it up and off the ground. She needed some photos from there, so I thought, hey, let's take some, you know, recent cool photos, and we'll kind of just go with that. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to like, comment, and feel free to subscribe as well. Once again, my name is Nathan Collins. I make videos online about photo editing and all that. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.